はい、新規はパイロットです。今日もマイクロソフトフライトシミュレーターの公式集会に参加していきたいと思います。今日は今日の飛行区域はアイスランドですね。どえらい北の方の国です。ここら辺が北極圏ですね。ここら辺より北が北極。今アイスランドは真冬なので、もうなんていうのかな、日の出が11時ぐらいで、日の入りが、15時ぐらい。まあほとんど太陽が、上がらないですね。緯度が高いので昼と夜の長さの差が激しい。まあ2023年最初の、公式周回になります。巡航速度120ノットなので、このエクストラの 330LT で飛んでいきたいと思います。これやっぱりこの飛行機翼担当とかもないんだな。夜飛ぶ飛行機じゃねえってことか。あれ、これは翼担当か。さすがに翼担当がないってことはないのか。これライトかね。やっぱついてるのか。付け方がこの前分かんなかったけど、あるじゃん。でライトがついた。全然知らずに。スピットファイヤーがいます。今日はどんな飛行機がいるかな。ヘリコプターもいます。まだぐるぐる回ってる飛行機がいる。また今日も海鮮が。このアイスランドっていう国はすごい綺麗な国なんですよ。でも夏のがやっぱり明るくていいかもしれないですね。同じ飛行機だ。ロボットガイが飛んでった。まあ正月は食っちゃねばっかしてったので、今年最初のフライトかもな。もう正月、暮れとお正月はなんか、暮れは飛んだけど、お正月はあっちこっちになんか行ってる間に終わっちゃいますからね。ちょっと世界地図でも見ようかなと。じゃあVFR マップ、線が出なくなっちゃったな。飛行経路は。ラプターが飛んでた。あそこより前に行くとみんな消えちゃう。117本。
And we're underway for the first Community Fly-In Friday of 2023.
I wish I could get
on and then some poppers. Dang it.
Departing Keflavik in Iceland.
Celebrate bigger. Positive rate.
Positive rates.
Positive rates. Okay, well, that's...
Yeah,
looks like we got a really good turnout today too. Looking at all these aircraft taking off behind me. Love to see it.
Yeah, I'm with you there, Crazy Fruits. They said my dad flew me around in his 172. Never a boring second. I haven't had a boring second in one either. Definitely with you. It's really just your perspective as a new pilot. Nothing's boring to me.
Well, yes. So here, I will amend my statement. No plane is a boring plane. It's always good to be in the air.
Yes.
Some planes are more exciting than other planes, and I would put a 172 on the lower
like
end
F-18
of the excitement scale.
ヘリコプターちょっとでもヘリコプター見れるかな。スピードどのぐらいで飛んでんだろう。
Have you seen us on FlyFS with our mass formation? Yeah, or on Volanta right now. Everyone's using it. A lot of us would show up Or you can even
The
look at
flipping tower extra
if you're using a glass
145.
cockpit.
Continue for south
Look at your
departure.
GPS display.
I
All
know
the
not
traffic
to.
shows up on that now too since
Okay.
the last sim update. Factual Gull, my god, that's 2 strikes now.
That's so good.
No, don't encourage her, Jane.
More, more. I will encourage it, absolutely.
By the way, for those of you who, for some unfathomable reason, if you actually
right.
enjoy Factual's comments
Ah.
in chat, you can
ロ
give
ータ
her
ー
a
が
follow
止ま
on
っ
her
て
own
る。
Twitch channel,
大変残念である。
where she streams Microsoft Flight Simulator
Awesome.
every Sunday afternoon
Absolutely.
Don't encourage her.
and tells terrible jokes like that.
Also, for those wondering, this is not the default airport of Keflavik.
Okay.
It's the MK Studios.
Oh, very cool.
Keflavik rendition. Available on the market.
ヘリコプターだ。
You know, I'm really excited to look at all your gorgeous photos of Iceland, Simtom, and also your CD. I already seen some of them, and I tried not to look at them too hard because I wanted to look at them during the stream.
Well, we are coming up to our
pretty
first
awesome.
POI here. Not a POI, but our first waypoint. It should be visible. I don't know how colorful it's going to be because my screen is getting really drowned out
It's
by
good,
the
it's
low
good.
sun on the horizon.
Uh-huh.
We're coming up to a geothermal power plant. in
Flipping
Iceland.
tower extra
And what's really
145
cool
frequency
about
change.
this, sorry, that's almost a factual line. I gotta stop myself there. What's really interesting about this is that the cooling system for this geothermal plant, it uses water to cool it. And then that wastewater from the cooling system, the runoff then becomes almost like a natural hot spring. And instead of just being kind of useless, the authorities in Iceland have actually turned this into a spa called the Blue Lagoon, and it's one of the most popular tourist attractions in all of Iceland. And there, you can actually see it on my screen there.
There it is.
There's the Blue Lagoon, and so
It's
if you
like
want
a
to go swim in
butterfly.
really
It's
rich
crazy.
mineral water and have like a really fantastic spa
Mhm.
treatment, you can go here. This is the Blue Lagoon in Iceland, and I've been swimming in that water right below me right now when I was there.
We have a community meetup at the Blue Lagoon. Looks awesome. One day.
Yeah, so, some of the most mineral-rich waters in the world. It's supposed to be very good for your skin to swim in that water. Did you go to the Blue Lagoon, Tom, when you were there?
We did, but just to visit, not really to swim.
Go in. Okay.
All right.
Handman wants to know, what did everyone do over the 3 weeks that's aviation related? I'll put that out to chat as a question and also to the four of us. So, aviation related specifically. CD, did you do anything aviation?
Indirectly, I spent probably 35 to 40 hours on a plane over the last 2 weeks.
That's a lot. That is
It is a
very
lot.
aviation related. What plane was it, you know?
Most of that was on a 777-300ER, and then a little bit of it was in an A320, and a little bit of it was in a 737.
Nice. Okay. How about you, Peter?
I went flying once. In a 172.
Boring.
今日ナイトホーク
What route did you
F117
go?
早いなやっぱ
just
プロペラ機で追いつかんか
Aha. Did you
Or
actually
actually
have a
$200.
hamburger? So it was $100 non-existent hamburger.
Yeah, it was $100 egg thingy.
Oh, how about you, Tom?
さあじゃあ首都レイキャビクに向かって
Well, I did have one drone assignment, so maybe that
That is aviation.
counts as.
That counts, yeah, sure.
Mama,
I
get it.
guess.
I'll give that to you.
よいしょ
Yes.
I've got a inverted extra flying off my wingtip here formation. That's pretty
It's,
cool.
it's quite a sight.
That's an extra. Yeah, but those things are supposed to be inverted. Otherwise, they're starved.
G-Lock says, my wife only gets me flying club gift certificates for the holidays now. Finally. That's awesome.
That is a pretty sweet gift.
Yeah. I didn't do much aviation related. I think the only thing I could think of... Actually, no, never mind. It was actually during Thanksgiving break. I had to take the airline Cape Air, which they only have these like really small, like 9-seater planes. It's called a Tecnam P2012, and I got to sit right behind the pilots and stare at them the whole time they flew. That was really fun for me.
That is cool.
Yeah. What's our cruising speed, CD?
I'm at 130 true airspeed right now, 127 true airspeed. Ground speed is also 130. I got the city of Reykjavik in sight up to my 12 o'clock. Like I said, this is the capital city of Iceland and home to about half of all of Iceland's population lives in this one city. I think Reykjavik is a fantastic city. When I lived there, I felt this is a really charming...
You lived there?
I didn't live there. Sorry, when I visited.
Oh, it's like, when did this happen?
No, I didn't. Sorry. My brain got crosswired there. I was going to say, when I visited, I thought it was a really charming, livable city.
Oh, okay.
And if I ever had to relocate for any reason, Reykjavik would be my by the way, folks, this is a bit of interesting Icelandic trivia. This is all true. You can look this up. Because Iceland has a relatively small population for a country, it's only about 150,000 people in the entire country of Iceland. The dating pool is pretty small. And this, again, this is 100% true. There's personal information in it, like your family tree or whatever. And by law, it means that, you know, if you have a prospective romantic partner, you both need to go onto this app and confirm that you're not too close to the
What's the cutoff of like the relation? Like,
I
all right,
don't know
that's
the
far enough.
And is that other than in the rest of the world?
Like third cousin. That's pretty funny. Oh, I forgot to show one more aviation related thing. Not so much what I did, but I finally got in the mail. Is I'm remembering all the important bits. My pilot license.
It's an American thing. Really.
Is it? So you don't have one?
Yeah. We don't know.
What do you have? What do you have to show then?
Nothing.
What? No.
Can you prove it? No.
Why would you need that? Show where?
I have no idea.
I don't know if you're renting
No one
a
ever
plane.
asked to see it. I still had to.
Yeah,
have it.
you just have to have it on you.
Yeah, I wasn't allowed to fly solo without having it
Oh,
written
kita.
on the plane.
Yeah, for us it's mentioned in the flight plan. It's a student solo, and that's about it.
前方の飛行機がすべて消えました。
G-Lock, yes, I am.
現れてきた。
Yeah, well, why don't we just... If we have any new viewers, I kind of assume that most of our viewers know where we're from now, but maybe not. We have some new people. So I am from Canada, Jane is from the United States, Peter is from the Netherlands, and Tom is from Belgium.
Yes.
We've got international panel with us
Yeah.
every week.
Also, CD, could you try refreshing your camera for some reason it froze?
And Skeeter actually thought I lived in Iceland.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was a mistake anyone could make if they talked to you for 5
Right?
minutes. Like, that guy really loves Iceland. He must be from Iceland.
And by the way, I saw a Microsoft office in Reykjavik, so you know,
Oh, there
with
is
all
one
remote
there, isn't
work,
there?
you know,
Why not move there, huh?
could just do it from there.
Just do it.
Yeah.
You're making a very convincing argument. I just think all flight simmers, we should all just go move to Iceland, and then we'll make the news for like all these flight simmers have just taken over Iceland, and now that's the only people who live here. They drove out the population.
CD, are you in the beta? Beta?
Nope, I'm on the live build.
I'm looking for you. Because
I
I'm...
saw you earlier, Peter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I got you in sight. I'm to your 12 o'clock, a little bit lower. I'm at 1,500 feet.
Are you in the beta, Peter?
I am.
Okay. This is one
So
where
it's actually-
multiplayer's the same then.
Yes, exactly. I was wondering that. Whether or not.
Yeah.
Oh. 隊長発見。
Perfect.
Are we coming? Are we coming for touch and go?
There is an airport here. It's not a scheduled touch and go. You can do it if you want. Keflavik, where we took off from, is actually the main international airport that serves Reykjavik, but there is a smaller airport that will pass over here shortly that's much closer to the city of Reykjavik itself. Probably the most famous landmark in Reykjavik is the cathedral that sits on top of the hill in the center of town. And it is a really beautiful building, really cool architecture. It's kind of like Nordic style architecture church, and it has a beautiful sounding pipe organ inside this cathedral. And it's open to the public. Certainly, if you ever have a chance to visit Reykjavik, definitely encourage you to go take a walk into the cathedral.
Is there someone just constantly playing
Oh,
the pipe?
stop.
Anyone go up and try it?
I didn't touch it. I didn't want to test that. Alright, I'm going to disable my autopilot and let's take a descent and look a little bit at Reykjavik in greater detail.
Happy New Year, Echo.
Also, just to my 12 o'clock now, you see a building that kind of looks like a planetarium or something with like a big dome. Yeah, apparently, I used to know what that is. I forget at the moment what that is, but I think there's a Michelin star restaurant inside that building. Anyone in chat know what that is? And can you confirm? I think there's actually one of the most famous restaurants in the world is inside that building, if I remember correctly.
Well, I know it's the weather service of Iceland that's there. But...
Okay, I'm guessing we're not doing a touch and go here.
Yeah, I can do
Optional.
it.
You can if you want.
Optional. Okay.
And actually,
なんじゃろう
I'll
ね
dive
これ
for
は
it.
一
for it.
体。
Okay. Tom's.
and Keflavik was a former military.
これなんかツイッターになんか流れてきた写真でも見たことがあるな。
And you can still see like the old hangars, where military planes were stored.
もう
Not sure it's
こ
fine.
れも
I've got the
イーグルで飛ぶと一瞬だからなかなかゆっくり見られないんだよな。これチャーチ、何チャーチ？ 氷
Do a
This
quick
one, this
circle.
runway is
氷
closed.
クリームス
I'm not
ク
allowed
ジャ
to
ふにゃふにゃふにゃ
チ
チャーチ
Go around.
チャーチですから教会ですね。俺もやっぱりこの飛行機だからゆっくり見れていいね。
You're good.
Yeah, let's not do that.
You're good. Nice. Nice following directions. Beautiful cathedral. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
747 came through me. There's always one.
Sounds pleasant.
うーん。
So the bell tower that you can see there, that's actually at the front of the cathedral, the front entrance. And the architecture itself, you see those to the sides of the bell tower, the architecture of the cathedral is supposed to be reminiscent of a pipe organ.
ここにもなんかチャーチがある。おーちょっと頼むぜ。
If you see it in person from the front, it's very much apparent that you can see how the architecture got inspired by the look of a pipe organ.
Nice.
I always heard it was because of the basalt rock formations they had.
Oh,
Maybe it's both.
why not both?
Why not both? Whatever works.
Now, speaking of Happy New Year, so does anyone have any New Year's resolutions? I know some people love those and some people greatly despise them. So it might be a mixed bag here.
Different.
And make it through the year, I would say.
Yeah.
Stay alive.
Yeah, that's the most important.
Damn, it says fly more.
Fly more, that's a good resolution
Yeah,
every year.
fine more.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
All
that's.
the rest
I
is
haven't sat down to think of some yet.
Well, here's a question for chat. Has anyone made it their goal for 2023 to earn a pilot's license?
Great question.
Well, yeah, kinda.
But you already have one. Are you going
Multi-engine.
multi-engine?
A multi-engine.
That's a good goal.
Mine. That's a nice goal. I'm not sure. It's all
うわー、ロールしてる時にはやめてくれ
Scotland, Texas, 2023 for PPL. Is that you saying that's your... And what about your chances? It looks like you're saying that's your goal too. Ooh. Astronaut, my New Year's goal is to go to college for aerospace engineering and then become a pilot in the airfare later on.
TBM9 B36D40
So I'm departing Reykjavik now.
C172
Heading southeast of Reykjavik, we are going to fly over a very touristy part of the country that if you ever do go to Reykjavik, this is sort of like the must-do, top of the list for almost everyone. We're going to travel along a part of the country that's called the Golden Circle. And Tom, I'm sure you spent a lot of time in the Golden Circle when you were here. Is that correct?
The first 2 times, but then you see that, and then you do the whole island. You realize there's way more to discover.
Yeah.
Especially if you go in summer, because then you can do the highlands, which you didn't see.
Alright, so having been to the Golden Circle twice, how would you describe it?
なんか大量ダウンロードをしとるのかね。
If you have, it's like 5 days normally they do it, 7 days trip to Iceland, and if you want to be amazed every day, then the Golden Circle is for you. Basically all pictures you've seen from Iceland on social media, you'll see them in the Golden Circle.
Ah, that's the place to go.
Waterfalls, ice pieces on beaches. Yeah, scenery you think that only can exist in a virtual world. No, that's there.
Yeah,
Iceland,
it is pretty
how
incredible.
dare you have everything?
Yeah.
Right.
But one of the things I found the most weird is no trees. Well, they have certain areas with trees where they really like put some of their own, but generally there's no trees. So that's weird the first time. Like, I think it's just too windy, stormy at times, and also most of the underground was lava. Yeah.
I do want to go to those lava fields. I just want to say congrats to Crazy Fruits who got their first lesson booked, 175 class in March. That's pretty awesome. And Bly Blocks wants, their goal is to become ATC. Awesome. Good luck with that. I know that can be difficult. KWM, ready for your solo. Hoping to finish PPL this year. Ooh, good luck with your solo. Let us know how it goes next time.
I just looked up the stats. I flew 33 hours last year.
Wow. Let's count that in money.
No, let's not. Please don't.
All right. Should I play autopilot chicken with this mountain in front of me to my 12 o'clock?
Yes.
Always.
I think I
こ
would
の
do
子
it, actually.
フラップ下ろしてない
I
か
looks pretty low.
What's your
下ろして
altitude
るよう
right
に
now,
見え
Tom?
るだ
You're
け
just
か
about barely to clear it. You look higher than me.
Mine is 1600, but
I'm at 2000
no,
and
that's
I'm
not
not
gonna
sure
end
I'm
well
going to
for
clear
me.
it.
I'm at 1500, and I don't think I'm clearing that mountain.
We need to go way up here.
Yeah, because I'm at 2000 and I'm not thinking I'm going to.
Okay.
また旅客機でお客さん連れてきてる人がいるな。しかもジャンボじゃん。
But OBS not. Seems like
Oh, Peter, you and I are basically flying in formation. This is like the
see
Shepherd
that.
all over again.
Hurry.
I'm getting major
Yeah.
deja vu.
Sue's right
Maintaining
behind you.
formation behind Peter.
Where are you?
I'm to your 6 o'clock low.
背面飛行に入ってる。お客さんはどうなっとるんか。
Oh, there you are. Yeah.
oh yeah, I think 2005.
しかも大事故。
Yeah, I'm at 123, but it's not.
Alright, chat. 2,500. Safe. Maybe.
Yeah, it looks good.
Safe-ish.
For the virtual skies thing.
新聞の
So, as
ト
we-
ップを
as we
飾り
pass
ます
along
な。
the golden circle, there is like a road you can see off to my left wing there. You can just drive along this road. You can see, as Tom was saying, how barren it is, how few trees there are, and it looks magnificent. You know, I'm always amazed by how good the scenery in the sim looks.
お
and how
スーパーホーネットも
but
い
it
る
doesn't
じゃん。
compare to the Iceland. If you do ever have the chance to drive along the golden circle, by far some of the best natural scenery you can find anywhere in the world. So highly,
T-Rock.
highly recommend checking that out if you can.
前
And we're
方
currently on routes
で
to
グ
a
ループが見えてき
waypoint.
たな。
It's not a POI in the sim. We may or may not be able to see it using the big maps auto gen scenery. It may show up. We'll see that. But
もう
there's a famous landmark for over 50 years now that has
気
existed
持ち
in
がいいの。
Iceland. It's aviation
Iceland.
themed. Tom, you've been there, right?
あんまり見んかったこ
Tom,
と
why
な
don't
い
you tell our
ね。
viewers where we're going next and what we can be on the lookout for as we get to the coast.
Okay. Now I'm seeing if I should tell it in a very mysterious way, or like
Yes.
a story
It's
around.
so mysterious, so we have no idea.
It is a
Not
plane
even
that's
when you
now
reveal it.
included in the simulator as
Oh
of
yeah, that's a good.
November 2022.
That's a bit too good of a hint.
Well, there's a lot of that were included.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, its bigger sibling, something with a 6, was already available before.
Okay.
Well, it's a DC-3, yes, I see it. There is a DC-3 wreck indeed.
ダイヤモンドエアクラフト
That
40。
is right there. in the,
EA40.
volcanic ashes.
なんか綺麗な
You
飛
used
行
to
機
be
ですよ
able to
ね。
drive right up next to it. When I went, I was so
KDDI.
able to, but
じゃあ、
eventually the farm
KODI.
and land wasn't so happy about it. So people going really off-road, like in a literal sense. And now you have to park alongside the Ring Road 1. That's the whole road that goes across the island. And I think it's an hour hike now, or even longer. I don't know, CD, were you still able to drive to it, or did you have to hike?
No, you couldn't drive to it when I was there.
Okay. So was it an hour or
PC21
Yeah,
longer?
it's about
あ
an
れ
hour
新しいやつか
from
な。
the nearest place you can park it. Oh, by the way, shout out to ZK DOS.
近振りがあるんですよね、
New
PC21。
Zealand-based airline
古くから
pilot.
出てるやつ
And
は持ってるけど、
ZK DOS
新しい
is watching the stream from my phone
PC21 は
in
持
the
ってないの
cockpit
で
on a turnaround.
Wow.
Love Iceland so much. Went on my honeymoon here in 2019 before the world went crazy. Best holiday ever.
It makes me so giddy just imagining
E28。
you're on a plane, flying a plane, watching us. That's awesome. Seems like an awesome honeymoon spot too. Sure.
How many hours
And
did
on
you
the
have, CKDOS?
topic of New Zealand, for anyone who may have missed the announcement, when we did our last Dev Q&A live stream, we revealed the location of World Update 12, which is coming. It's the next World Update, and it is indeed New Zealand is going to be the country featured in World Update 12.
おすごいスピー
Another
ドでラ
very,
イトの
very
普通
beautiful
が飛んで
country
い
along
く。
with Iceland. So really looking forward to that one.
Yeah, and I've heard from people who visited both Iceland and New Zealand that Iceland is still pretty good.
Interesting. Very big
And a
competition.
lot more, a lot closer to home, actually, for us.
For us, yeah. Of course, Iceland does not have the big mountain ranges.
Yeah, but really,
I mean, they have highlands, but
We have the
they're all-
Alps.
I want to see big mountain ranges.
Go to the Grand Canyon.
Ah, you want
And
to
I
see
just
Iceland.
really want to do all the Lord of the Rings experiences. That's all I want.
New Zealand has certainly benefited, their tourist
I
industry has
know.
certainly benefited from Lord of the Rings.
Well,
all I want.
although there has also been a certain Netflix movie that took place in Iceland.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. We'll come back to that. I know
No.
Tuscan's comment in
Yeah.
chat says Iceland doesn't have hobbits, which is true. However,
They do.
Iceland does have elves and trolls,
It's true.
very
Very true.
famously.
Can you refresh your video again?
Oh, really?
It doesn't want to cooperate with us today. The elves went too far. No. Yeah, and I think the movie you're talking about, Tom. If you go, if you click on the link to the forum posted, it'll mention it in there.
Yes, for all our EU viewers, I don't know if actually Q-Tone's streaming right now, so probably not. I know he's got a command on his channel that will tell you that how many days left until the Eurovision Song Contest.
Ooh.
I don't know how many that is. Peter, Tom, do either of you happen to know when Eurovision is this year?
Normally it's in May, always.
Okay.
I tend to avoid it like the plague.
Why?
I
May
enjoy
9th
to watch it.
ends May 13th.
It's,
But anyways, there was a famous band from Iceland that appeared in the Eurovision Song Contest. I will not say if they won or not. I don't want to spoil it for anyone who's not caught up. Tox Race, yes, is aware. The band, of course, is Fire Saga, and their big hit that everyone wants them to play is what? Peter, Tom.
Yes.
I will
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
I think you do.
No,
For those wondering, no, there will not be a reenactment this time around. It has already been
Waterloo.
recorded.
Waterloo.
You can look it up.
It has been clipped. It's on the
Yeah.
internet for people
It's
to see,
there.
and
So look it up.
we can't do anything about that, but that's about it, right?
Also, we got $1,000 fine from Microsoft, but yes,
$1,000 fine.
that's not true.
タッチングかな。
Copyright infringement.
I got it right. So which song did ABBA win for in
Wow. Unpoor2 says, I'd rather step on a Lego than watch it.
Wow, that's.
That's really,
I mean,
really.
I'll remember
That
that.
hurts.
Or is he talking about the Eurovision song?
I think
Maybe
he's talking
that.
about the Eurovision Song Contest.
Yeah, I share the sentiment.
Well,
I've actually never seen the real one.
yeah, I mean, not living in Europe, we're not really exposed to Eurovision. I'm sort of vaguely aware that it exists just through cultural osmosis because it is, I know, such a big deal, but it's not something that is on TV here in North
キロゾーンに
America.
入っちゃった。
It's true, though,
Diamond
that it's
aircraft.
not really voted on merit. Like, the best artist or the best song doesn't necessarily win.
It's
There's
Really?
so much like
it's-
political voting.
Yes, it's a lot of
Oh.
political voting, which is
Just
why.
like you vote for your country, kind of.
Yeah, and also neighboring countries vote for each other.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And,
Well,
I mean,
last
three
year there
guesses
was a,
which country won last year. Without even knowing any of the songs or any of the artists, guess which country would have won last year, and you're going to be right.
France.
It's not France, and because of political voting. What
Oh,
what
Ukraine,
country was
Ukraine.
everyone very sympathetic to last year? Spoiled an event from
Spoilers.
7 months ago, 8 months ago.
Oh no, I think we were waiting on chance.
We need to listen to the song.
平空港。
It had a banger here. It's true. It was a fine song.
And I have to give credit to the movie makers. They nailed how those songs actually sound like on Eurovision. That's how they are.
Well,
They're catchy, they're funky, they're get into your head sometimes.
Which is why I
can
hate
you
it.
guess my favorite song from Eurovision?
Yeah,
Huh.
The movie, I mean. No,
I think it might be Husavik,
no,
Double Trouble. Then.
no.
Wow, the Lion
You'll-
of Love.
Yes, absolutely.
I know I will also not be like that.
I find it a bit worrying that you all know all those titles by
Oh, I think it
record.
was in my Spotify Wrapped, like all of those
Exactly.
songs.
I think last year, top 5 was all
Yeah, I was like, huh. Oops.
that. Look at that.
Actually, I think my number 1 on Spotify Wrapped was like an ASMR. I was like, oh, that makes sense. I
Huh.
guess you just sleep for 8 hours. Yeah. You guys, okay?
I'm showing myself as 47 nautical miles away from that
Okay.
crashed PC3 waypoint.
47.8 to be
Oh wait, is it true? Elk said you can't vote for your own country unless you happen to reside in another country. What?
Yeah, you can't vote for him.
See. So you all vote for your neighboring countries, and then
Of course
they
not.
do the
They're-
Or
same.
just or not, right? Depends.
Imagine me
That
voting
that is
for either
political.
France
Oh my goodness.
or the Netherlands. Oof.
And the Netherlands voting for Belgium or Germany. So.
Even if they pay me, I would be like, nope.
Like,
how are you
would,
two friends?
would Sweden vote for Norway and vice
France is a
versa?
big word.
Ooh, I think they wouldn't either.
Yeah. I know Finland won a few years ago, right? With like some black metal band.
Yep, which was nice.
うん、やっぱ PC21 か
Peter,
ら
for
見え
someone
な
who
いやつ
claims
だ。
to avoid watching Eurovision, you seem to know a lot about Eurovision.
Well, the
Right?
point is, it's so much in the news here. You can't really circumvent it.
Right.
Right, it's true.
Energizer says, as someone from Sweden, I actually do vote for either Norway or Finland. Anything but Denmark. Yeah, those lousy Danes.
Again, show them, CD, show them.
Well, that's a nice segue. We'll talk a little bit about Icelandic history here and how it relates to Denmark. I didn't know this until I was researching some facts for this stream. Iceland has only been an independent, fully sovereign nation since what year? Anyone in chat know? How long has Iceland been a sovereign country?
2004.
It's older than 2004.
Okay.
2003.
I mean, with those volcanoes, you never know. Just feel like.
No, 1944 is the correct answer, and we'll talk about the history of that in a sec. Jervima, first welcome, glad to have you here. And we did mention trolls earlier. We were talking about New Zealand and how the scenery in New Zealand compares to Iceland. Mentioned that there are no hobbits in Iceland. I said yes, no hobbits, but there are elves and there are trolls. Okay, so 1944 is when Iceland became a sovereign country. Prior to that, it was part of Denmark. In 1918, it gained limited self-government from Denmark in the same sense of like it was an independent country but part of the larger Danish nation. Sort of like how Scotland and England are independent countries that are part of the UK. It was sort of like that. Much like Greenland is today, actually. Greenland is a self-governing part of Denmark. Iceland used to be the same from 1918 until 1944. Prior to 1918, it was exclusively part of Denmark with no self-governance. And the reason it gained independence has entirely to do with the Second World War. In 1940, Denmark was invaded and occupied by Nazi Germany. Iceland, because it was separated by the North Atlantic Ocean, was not occupied initially. However, because it's very vitally strategic, important location, as sort of a staging area, a waypoint, a naval base, an air base in the North Atlantic for Allied shipping convoys from Canada and the United States sending vital war supplies to the UK, Iceland became vitally strategically important to the Allied war effort. And so Iceland was invaded, not by Germany, but by the UK in 1940. Initially, Winston Churchill and his government gave Iceland, the government of Iceland, after Denmark fell to Nazi Germany, they gave them the option of joining the war on the side of the Allies. The government of Iceland declined that offer and said they were going to remain neutral. And because the Allies did not want Iceland to fall into Nazi hands, the UK actually invaded Iceland, landed British Marines. Nearly about 1,000 of them landed in Reykjavik, secured the city. They met zero resistance, no shots were fired, and relatively soon on, the local people and the government of Iceland welcomed the British occupiers. And shortly thereafter, the government of Iceland turned over their self-protection to, at the time, the United States, who were still neutral in the wars before Pearl Harbor. So the United States was not yet part of the war. But they stationed troops in Iceland to guarantee that it could not be invaded by the Germans. And I guess it was considered, because they were a neutral country at the time, the United States, that was considered a little bit better than having a belligerent in the war, the United Kingdom, staging occupying forces there. So that occupation lasted for 4 years. And then after those 4 years, in 1944, Iceland became its own independent, fully sovereign nation, completely separate from Denmark. And it remains a sovereign nation to this day.
So it wasn't 2000.
No.
1944. See if I can remember that.
You had the 4 correct.
That was so close.
Just 60 years.
What, 60 years in a lifetime?
Yeah.
Right.
LCF says, fun fact, there's an elf school in Iceland where you can learn everything about elves.
No way.
This is pretty cool.
That's cool.
Like how they have 3 rings. It's a good elf fact.
One of my favorite things about Iceland, and I haven't been there, so it's one of the things I know because I haven't been there, and that's their marketing and like advertising strategies, like the tourism marketing that they do. I think is super cool. It's always really funny commercials for like visiting Iceland, really cool social media projects that I really appreciate. Like I think they put speakers outside by the beaches. I think you were there, Tom.
Yeah,
when they
I
did
used
that.
one of those.
Yeah. So
Although that one was a bit more controversial.
Oh.
Because you're in that quiet environment.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that speaker is 110% on. And so. And they also made a karaoke song.
Yeah, I love the karaoke song.
I don't know if that's copyright protected.
Oh, find out. 'Cause if it's not,
Then I'll play it for sure. Because their music clip with that is pretty enjoyable.
So on the subject of Icelandic tourism, until 2007, 2008, Iceland had one of the fastest growing economies and highest standards of living in the entire world. And then their country was really significantly negatively impacted by the 2008 financial crash. And it really cratered the economy of Iceland. It took them many years to recover, and one of the strategies that the government used to help their economic recovery was to really market Iceland internationally as a tourist destination. And it was a big success. And as Jane, you said, they had really creative marketing campaigns, and now so many people from all over the world will visit Iceland and partake in the immense natural beauty, some of which we're seeing on our flight today.
During the 2008 crash, that was actually felt pretty well in the Netherlands as well, because a lot of people had stashed their savings in an Icelandic bank, which then went under, and then people lost their money. A lot of
That
people
was one of
still
the
lost.
very first banks, actually.
Yeah, if not the first.
wow.
Not sure.
Of course, the tourism boom has its consequences. For example, I think the first time I went was April 2015. You just see all the waterfalls, no queuing, no having to pay for parking. It was just like, oh, this is an island somewhere in
Just
the
go.
Atlantic, right?
Yeah.
Then 2 years later, it was already, oh, now you have to pay for this parking here. Now you can't fly your drone here anymore. Now you have to do this. You have to pay entry fee. And I think that's when we decided, like, when we come back, Golden Circle is over for us, so we'll just go further.
Other places.
That's I'm such a hypocrite because I love traveling to places and being a tourist and visiting lots of different places all around the world. And the best places to visit are the ones that are not overflowing with tourists. But I myself am a tourist, so I'm adding to the problem.
Yeah,
That is the problem.
it's we think
It's
like
hard.
when we've seen it, then I don't care anymore. I've seen it, I went there. Next. Well, apparently the Faroe Islands are now the high hotspot.
I've been there too, actually. The same trip I went to
Unfortunately.
Iceland, I went there as well.
I think tourism can be good if we, as tourists, we just need to be, conscientious and respectful. We don't add to the problem as badly as, leaving trash everywhere and stuff, right?
Leave it like you find it, right?
Yeah. Leave no
Leave
trace.
no trace.
Exactly. take out what you bring in. Don't leave anything. So probably number one on my list of locations that I would love to visit that I haven't been to yet is the Galapagos Islands. But again, I'm such a huge hypocrite because I know rationally that it's such a sensitive ecosystem and it's being ruined by tourists because it is so popular as one of the top destinations in the world to see, you know, a wealthy splendor of plants and animal life. It is actually being ruined by tourists. And so rationally, I know I probably shouldn't go, but emotionally, I really, really, really want to go while you still can, because I think there's going to be a time where the government will step up and say, no more tourists. It's been ruined.
Or they'll do quotas.
Happy New Year, Slim Man.
Hey, Slim Man, welcome. Nice to see you.
And actually, my dad went in 2021 when they had that active volcano near Reykjavik.
Oh, wow.
The Fugl.
That one.
Yeah.
He said it was pretty impressive to see.
Silly Gull says Norway has been ruined already. Oh, I don't know about that. Well, I mean, I was in Norway in 2014, and it was pretty spectacular when I was there. I went to the fjords, and it was awesome.
That's 8 years ago, CD.
Yeah, that's the same basically for
Well,
us.
there's a lot of cruise ships that go
Yeah.
there.
Well, I've heard the government of Norway has put a stop to cruise ships visiting the fjords.
Fair.
Where is Papa when we need him in chat? Norwegian moderator. I mean, he'll show up.
Aren't there more pleasant people than Papa?
Lobby.
About literally everyone.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Don't be like that.
Hope you're enjoying your F-22 preppies also.
Paz says in 2025 they are stopping cruise ships. So they've announced it, but it hasn't gone into effect yet.
Right.
Oh, there is Papa.
There he is. I will remember. Of course.
The North,
And of course. Yeah. Also a lot of movies that have been shot here. Interstellar, James Bond, Star Wars, Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I was about to say, I just made a Game of Thrones reference and then not even realizing that, yeah, all the scenes shot north of the wall in Game of Thrones were filmed in Norway, or in Iceland, sorry, not Norway.
Didn't know that.
そろそろか。分かった。
And Mysterious.
はい。
Does anyone know the story of the volcano that stopped air travel for a while?
That was the one. Yappa.
Okay,
I know
that's what I'm talking
Actual
about.
Gall knows how to pronounce that perfectly. She's rehearsed it. I don't know if she's still in chat. She knows how to say that one. But yeah, there was, what, 2011? Was that right? There was that massive volcanic eruption in Iceland that, because there was so much volcanic ash ejected into the atmosphere, it shut down
Wow.
like hundreds, if not thousands, of flights over the North Atlantic in Europe.
Yeah, because the wind was coming from the north back then, so all the ash would just very fine particles would be in the air and would be ingested by the jet engines and would just
Jeez.
stop or go out. Or at
Well,
least there was
you wouldn't want
the risk of
a
it.
repeat of British Airways. Was it Flight 007? Was that the famous one in Indonesia? Anyone know what I'm talking about in chat?
I lost all 4 engines.
Yeah, the 747 flying over Indonesia went through volcanic ash, and all 4 engines cut out. And the captain came on the PA system and gave what is probably the most epic passenger announcement ever. I'm actually going to look it up. I don't want to paraphrase.
Do it in your microphones as well.
Oh, yeah.
And with the sound effects.
And then to know that the Eyjafjallajökull is actually a very small volcano. There's others on Iceland that could potentially
Oh no.
Even make
mean some
more-
sort of very
It was British Airways 009. So I'm looking up. Okay, this is the announcement from the captain.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We have a small problem. All 4 engines have stopped. We are doing our damnedest to get them going again. I trust you are not in too much distress.
No, why would I be?
Here's a cup of tea.
Free tea for everyone.
Yeah.
But they did manage to get enough power restarted on the engines to make an emergency landing in Japan. And considered one of the great good news stories in the aviation history.
Let's see where we are. I think we've already passed Seljalandfoss. So I need a chart here.
So
Big map.
I'm a big fan of Icelandic Air, and I love that they do stopovers. Like if you're going across,
Oh,
you
yeah.
can stay there. So maybe this is a question for you, Tom. So the stopover, sometimes they're just like 2 days or something, right?
Yeah.
You mentioned if you're only there for like 5 days, do the golden circle. But what if you're only there for like a day or 2? What would you recommend? Like, all right, you could go see like 2 things. What would you personally go see and go back to
I
the
would,
airport for?
if I only have 2 days, I would do them in summer because you don't have night. So that's 4 days then.
That's cheating.
No sleep. No. Well, I would, Blue Lagoon. I don't. It's
Yeah.
it's a tourist. I wouldn't say trap, but it's
あ
wastewater of a.
大佐久しぶりですね。
Do with that what you
この
want.
前見ましたよ、正月にブルー
I
レ
mean Reykjavik, of course.
イ。やっぱ大佐かっこよかったですぜ。
And then I would say, well, the most famous waterfalls. It's the Seljalandfoss, yeah, and the Selfoss.
You have
They're
some photos?
impressive. I do not have photos because apparently I never edited.
I have a photo. This is Gullfoss. Just to give you a sense of scale, if you can see in the distance, these are people here. Where my mouse is.
Oh yeah,
pointing.
that's more to the
Jump. Go for a little
So it
swim.
gives you. It looks pretty
Sorry.
small from this scale, but you can see where those people are in the distance. It actually looks much more massive here. Well, I got some photos here. There's the front of the cathedral in Reykjavik, and you can see how it actually does resemble a pipe organ.
That's really cool.
This is the inside of the cathedral, and there's the pipe organ itself.
yes.
And then this was a cool piece of public art, sort of resembling a Viking longboat on the harbor front in Reykjavik.
I didn't see it in the sim, but
Oh,
isn't
here's
it
the
like
Blue
the
Lagoon.
Voyager of the North? It's called.
You can see the color of that water.
What is the temperature? Like, is it like hot, or like?
It's a naturally occurring. It's not hot. You can swim in it. It's warm.
Yeah.
It's a naturally occurring hot spring because it's the wastewater from the geothermal. Like there's the geothermal plant. You can see it right there, and then this is the wastewater that comes out of the geothermal plant.
And we also just passed the Skogafoss. I don't know if you have a picture of that there, CD
I
already.
don't.
It's that one is really well because you can. I'll just.
The Blue Lagoon looks cold.
It's actually not cold.
I
Remember,
wouldn't go in there if it was cold.
It's water that's been naturally heated from geothermal energy, so it's like swimming in a hot tub. It's pretty warm.
Well, here I will give you. Sorry for the.
Getting out of the
I know
Blue
it.
Lagoon's blood. Watching that show with Down to Earth that Zac Efron hosts when he was in Iceland, and he did one of those like, it was in Iceland, but you get in like the really cold tub and the hot one in the back and the cold one, and it looked miserable.
Sorry, Simplaner, when we say wastewater, it's actually not wastewater in the sense that you think. It's water that has been, it's a byproduct water, I guess would be a better way to describe it. It's water, it's clean water that has been used to cool down the geothermal power plant. It's very clean, it's very safe to swim in it.
Yeah.
It's only warm.
Yeah, no, they wouldn't actually put real wastewater.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to disable my autopilots. I'm right where the Crash DC-3 is now, and let's see if we can find it. I actually don't know for a fact if it is visible in the sim or not. But we'll see if the AutoGen Bing satellite scenery found it.
If it would have found it, it would probably put a house there, or a building in the shape of a plane.
Jinx it, Peter. And I'll just transition let's scope it.
Well, you know, I think I see where it is. You can see there's something visible here. I think that is where the Crash DC-3 is. I don't see the plane itself, though. Let me just change my weather from nice snow to...
I actually see some. But I'll get rid of the picture.
So let's see it. Oh, there it is. I got it. I got it in sight. Look. It doesn't look exactly like a DC-3, but that's it right there. It did pick up something. That's it. So that's the Crash DC-3. Now, Tom, you have a photo of the real thing, don't you?
That's so
I
cool.
do? Hold on, this is suddenly very multitasking.
Do everything!
Pressure. It's image 2. Yes. Okay. Stand by.
They all walked away without injury.
There we go.
Woo.
When
I
I
read
was
it.
there were only 3 other people.
Could you go, like, shit?
Yeah.
Like, go inside?
I actually have a picture with my dad pretending he's the pilot. Like he's sitting in front.
I was wondering, because I was reading that article, and I was like, this was featured in Justin Bieber's video. So I was like, huh? So I went and looked at it, and he was, like, skateboarding on top of it. I was like, that seems bad.
Yeah, I think it won't last many more years.
Yeah, it's like, if there's no rules. Pretty cool.
And I actually have a model of it in this.
That tiny What?
Well, I mean, something.
So yeah, that DC-3 crashed in the 1970s, and the wreckage is still there on the beach today in 2023. You can go visit it.
Oh wow, look at it on the screen. It's like, actually, like...
I might be using a scenery.
Oh! I was like, huh? How did you do this?
Is there a separate scenery mod for specifically the plane?
I think it's the Iceland overhaul one.
I
Okay.
have that one as well.
Well, nowadays you would call that a skill issue. Maybe there's another one I have. Right. Okay.
We haven't even talked about Icelandic food. You're like, sheep. Do you like sheep?
Well, I don't eat it. And one time my dad wanted to try it. We were staying in this little hotel. And then in the morning, we heard some cute little lambs. And he was like, well, maybe no sheep today.
Aww.
Now, I
I'm
can't remember.
sorry.
Anyone in chat know? I can confirm what Beefultron says. A lot of fish in Icelandic cuisine. Absolutely, that is true. I can confirm that. Does Iceland have their own sort of equivalent of lutefisk or storströmming? Is there like an Icelandic version of that? Anyone know?
Don't be surprised.
Which is got to be, it's got to be in the conversation as most disgusting food in the world. I don't necessarily say it might not be number one, but it's definitely up there.
Fermented shark. Yeah, I think that's one.
I've seen some documentary ones that people, I don't know where they came from, might be the Faroe Islands actually, that they would catch birds, and then kill them, and then put them in a bag, just the bird itself, lots of birds in the back. And I let them ferment for months, and then eat that with feathers and stuff.
Lipstick says tied with the smell of durian. You know, I won't get too far out of myself. This will be a subject for a future stream, but I actually tried durian 2 weeks ago.
For later.
And if Slim Man is still here, Slim Man actually bought me a durian and insisted I eat it. And I will share some photos in a future stream of me trying durian 2 weeks ago.
Can you refresh your video
when I met
again?
up with Slim Man.
Can you refresh your video? Thanks. I wanted to describe the three-course Icelandic meal on Iceland Air because it was actually really good. So this is what they called their staple that they served on the plane. It says classic Icelandic fare. Skyr, I don't know if I said that right, S-K-Y-R, blended. Skyr, blended with an apple mint gelée, G-L-E-E, I don't know what that is. Main dish.
It means like a little jello.
Okay, main dish is flatbread with smoked Icelandic lamb, reindeer pate, and citrus marinated Arctic char. Which was very good. The dessert was called a happy marriage cake in English. So I don't even know what that means. We should look that up. Happy marriage cake.
What's the point of this?
Cardamom,
This
oats,
is a very
rhubarb.
nice area. It's called. Yes, I only see the Icelandic name, so I'll look.
システム172スカイフォークフォークじゃないフォー
Iceland
ク
sounds tough for vegetarians.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Astronaut had a question here. It says, have any of the hosts seen the Northern Lights? I have, once. I live in Canada, and so it's a stereotype that the Northern Lights are always visible in Canada. Not true. They are visible in northern parts of Canada where hardly anyone lives. But where most of the Canadian population lives, the Northern Lights are not generally visible. But I was very lucky to see them once in my life. And they are just as impressive as you've seen in photos.
Yep. And weirdly enough, I don't know if it's the mind playing tricks on you, but you can hear.
Yes, you can. I can confirm
Really?
It's like that really weird electrostatic noise across the whole atmosphere. It's like,
I would love that. It's crazy.
This was like
Let's go to Iceland.
when do we do a flight sim meetup?
Hey. Next week.
Okay.
Welcome back.
Emotional event for New Zealand roller date.
Just fine.
New Zealand closer from Seattle than Seattle to Iceland? Or is it
I don't know. I
in the
never-
middle?
I
you're
haven't
right,
looked
New
that up
Zealand might
before.
even be further away. Because it's all Pacific and South.
Only maps will tell us that.
Yes.
Yes, Elk, I think I do remember Seb talking about the Northern Lights.
Yeah.
Q&A a long time ago. Really wants them.
That would be nice.
Wants them to be right. So I remember.
Yeah.
See when that happens.
I personally, again, I had no insider knowledge of this. I was kind of hoping that would be a surprise feature that would be implemented for the Canada World Update. Would be the Northern Lights be visible. I thought that would have been fantastic. But alas, it did not happen. But yeah, as Jane said, it's on the radar. It's something that Seb wants to implement, but he wants to do it right.
Welcome, Gambit.
I do have a little video queued up.
Yeah?
I remember I played it once already when we did a flight in Iceland.
Yeah, you did.
I remember, but we should watch it again.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
It's been a long
I don't
time.
remember the. But
Let's roll it.
Yeah.
Let's
but
roll
Jane,
it. Okay.
just calm down, Jane. Okay, please.
It's not to hype you up. And,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there music?
But your music is over it.
I'm not seeing it output from NDI anyway, so I'll just keep my music on. Wow. So did you take all these videos yourself? You and your-
Yeah.
That's awesome. That doesn't look real.
It's all rendered.
Yeah, it looked so fake. It was weird.
It almost looks like flight sim. Like this is a good like sim. That I was obviously flight sim doesn't look quite that good yet. But some of those shots did actually look like flight sim.
Like this one.
Yeah, that does.
But like this 3D quality that's more bold. Wow. People! That's you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cool.
It's stupid you're not hearing everything.
It's not
I
like
think
this
it's
was
on- I
epic.
think
That's
it-
the best part.
It's on now. So, there it goes. Hmm. Much better music.
Oh yeah.
CD, can you refresh your video while we're playing this?
No, I'm not going to
Oh, okay.
because it's just it crashes every 5 minutes. Just
Yeah.
we'll live with it. As long as you can still hear me, that's important.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with my webcam today, but I'll fix it for next stream.
Did you fly your drone behind that waterfall?
Nope.
How do you know there's not a hidden cave back there? If there's one thing video games has taught me, it's that there's a hidden cave with like
Every
treasure
waterfall.
behind every waterfall.
I was afraid of the elves. The trolls.
Fair.
Gorgeous.
The worst part is I have a bunch of footage from 2020.
う
No
ん
video yet.
湖これは
Because you didn't edit it yet?
Exactly.
So that's
I
even
think I have
before
stuff like that too.
that is even before like the sim session, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we can expect that like in 2030.
Listen, I just found footage that I filmed from like
しかし寒すぎるからか
highlighted it or edited it. It's like, oh,
Yeah, I have the same last view.
The problem is, it's all fun flying a drone or video photo here, and then you come home and it's like,
人
well,
の住んでる気配を見かけないけど空港とかあるんだなどこ
for
を飛ん
editing
で
it's
る
a
んじゃん
love-hate story. For me, it's always starting the edit. Once
Yeah.
I'm in the edit, I enjoy it. It's just starting.
Get an index of what you have, timestamp everything.
キキュバイアルクロイスとキル
Plan.
ジェットクロイストゥル空港
I don't know.
長えし
I always start with that. Have
I
the music
always-
ready.
That's the problem. I start with that, then get tired of it, and then the whole project gets in the freezer.
Freezer in Iceland.
Yeah, well. And then you edit a first version, then you suddenly hear a second track, and you're like, oh wait. maybe
Change
that's
the whole
better.
thing.
That's better. You
Nah.
don't have to change all the timings.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I'll get
the
it.
worst part is when you're done and then you like show it to someone else. Yeah, it's cool. Bit of weird music though.
Yeah. It's like, what do you mean?
I spent 84 hours
Yeah.
listening to
Wouldn't
tracks.
it be better with this kind of music? Yeah.
And they come with some EDM hard bass.
Yeah, that's true. It would be better with that.
Well, maybe that's my New Year's resolution.
Edit that video.
Yeah.
You'll do it the last day, 2023.
And also make the sim video.
Ooh.
For those wondering, chat, Peter, more Tomais, and myself, we went to it's Discord community members. We went to a full motion A320 simulator back
For a
in
day.
April already last year.
Yes.
For a
It's
whole
almost
day,
been a
8
year.
hours. Yeah. We captured a lot of footage, 360 tripods, gimbals, and
Oh wow.
well, right
A
now
lot
they're
of
just
beautiful landings,
collecting
a lot of-
digital dust. But if everyone is an editor in chat, please contact me.
I think it's especially hard to get to a personal project if you don't do it immediately after you filmed it.
Yeah.
Because then, yeah.
Because you're still in it then, and then you just have to do it.
Yeah.
But now it's like, who cares still about it, right?
Happy New Year, Pest.
That's the main problem, right? Because you put in a lot of effort and then people who
Actually,
For
that's
your own
maybe
self-satisfaction.
advice for people in the creative sector: don't look at others' work, because then you'll never start, and then you'll never find your own work good.
Oh.
Sure, for reference you can look at them or how they did it, but if you're always like, yeah, but their work is better anyway, why should I bother? It's like, no, just do it.
At Leda, anybody using Xbox, press 1 if you're using Xbox flying with us today. Press 2 if you're using PC to fly with us. Let's find out. Find out who flying what.
We are coming
there
up
was a
to
poll on the forums today asking the same question that came about 50.
I saw that, yeah. Oh wow.
Microsoft Flight Sim players.
Press 3 if you're
Do-
just
do-
watching.
Do they fly planes? What planes do they fly? Let's find out.
Well, I mean, we could have a look at the Navicraft 2022
There's a good mix.
questionnaire results.
clear winner there.
It's a good mix of Xbox and PC players here.
Problem with Navicraft is it's already biased.
Yeah.
Xbox users use Navicraft.
Yeah, they also the Xbox crowd would have participated. I think it would be even more clear. Also, there's no mosquitoes in Iceland,
None.
so no. Although they have a mosquito lake, so I'm not sure what to believe.
So that's where they all are,
They just hang out
probably.
there.
at the bottom or something.
And at that lake, actually, it's called Mývatn. It's in the north. We were in the same hotel as the whole stunt crew of Fast and Furious. They were at that time filming a sequence. I don't know from which movie it is, but I do know it's the sequence where the submarine comes from under the ice, sea ice.
Yeah.
It was just on a lake there. And they were doing it with all the stunt cars and helicopters. And then we were in the same hotel. And there was the stunt double of Dwayne Johnson. Gave the man a hand, and my hand had to recover a week. It's like,
Pretty awesome.
okay. Yeah.
No, we are using our own RTMP program to get all the streams together as well as for voice and video we use OBS Ninja.
Ninja. Video Ninja.
Actually, I'll look up what StreamYard is.
Pretty awesome. We didn't have that. We didn't have the RTMP to share the game stream for a while, so it's so much better now. We can see
It will all on me.
Thanks to Tom and Peter finding
Back
it.
when it was like, hey, I have something nice to show. Oh wait, I'm not streaming.
Yeah.
We've done streams with like 8 people, I think was the most.
Mhm.
I think when the
Once.
first, the Grand Canyon Razor Run, was with 8. Oh, look at this aerial imagery. This is how the rivers actually look like.
See a picture. A road.
Oh, you see a picture the whole time already. Yep.
Thought you were just
Exclusive.
really trying to show us.
Ooh.
Oh, this.
Is that Ring Road?
Yeah. It's actually
Oh,
not too
that's
far from where we
gorgeous.
are.
Mhm. I hope your brother
Well,
makes
maybe
a
I-
fast recovery and safe luck. I'm sorry to hear that.
Maybe I show the pictures since we are a bit in the transition cruise here.
Yeah, I got 35 nautical miles to the next touch and go, so this would be a good time to show some photos.
Right. And is it this one? Let's see. Nope, the video.
Next flying equipment. It would be interesting to try a glider once, so if we could keep up with, you know, see how long we can stay in the
some
air.
ridge soaring.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Be interesting.
there's always the option of slew mode. I think that might be an interesting idea actually for a future community fly on Friday. Is we do some ridge soaring, say in the Alps, and if someone is not getting sufficient lift, they could always just use slew mode. It's kind of cheating, but they can still participate that way.
I mean, we have gliders with engines,
美
right?
しいとこじゃの
Yeah, that's true too.
True.
Sorry for that switching there, just was checking. We'll actually not be far from that. It's called Vestra Horn. Where do we end today, CD?
Hofen?
No.
Oh yeah, that's actually pretty close to where this picture was taken. It's very mystical. And so it's all like volcanic ash beach, and then they have those grasses that are orange, so it's a big contrast. It's a very special.
So the best time to visit Iceland is summertime, so July,
I wouldn't say that.
August.
Because I've been
For the
winter,
weather?
spring, and summer, and I can't say I have.
Oh, you like, because you like everything there, huh? I guess it depends on what you want to see. That's true.
But also winter is, well, this year was an exception, but it's not always a guarantee for snow. So if you're going to, and also at 4, 3 and a half, or 3:30 in the afternoon, it's dark.
Yeah, Grilled Water, we did do an F-18 fly-in. It was in October to celebrate the 75th anniversary of Chuck Yeager breaking the sound barrier. We did a fly-in with F-18s to Edwards Air Force Base. Flying supersonic much of the way.
Right, I'll go through the pictures. I don't remember all locations still. This was in the north. Typical views you'll see. This is Dettifoss. It is either the most powerful or second most powerful waterfall in Europe. And you see those people on the top there to give you a reference and how big it is. Let's just close it. Shall I zoom into delay? Just river. Oh yeah, and the Icelandic horses. You'll see a lot of them. Once they get exported, they cannot re-enter the country. So they really want to keep it pure. And so once they leave the country, they cannot come back inside. And they're also very curious. So when you stop next to the roads, they'll come to you.
They're gorgeous. Whoa.
Glacial Lake.
Whoa,
Very
that's an
abstract.
aerial view? Like, I
Yeah,
thought it was
it's like a
tree
top
bark
down.
for a second. That's crazy. That's awesome.
Yeah. And here we have, I forgot the name, but it's in the Highlands. It's It's a very active geothermal area because all the little smoke you see there, they're all like mud pools or well, not geysers, but just how do you call them? Vents? Well, the symbol of Iceland, of course. Puffin. This was taken at the West Fjords. It's the northwest of Iceland, and there is a very big colony of puffins. Extremely windy. I don't know how they didn't fly away because they're pretty light. Typical church. Some people might recognize as my profile picture on this server. It's also there in West Fjords. That's Daddy Foss again. Oh yeah.
I'm taking so many. Yeah. Wow, look at that.
Just
photo.
send them to you, but
Yeah, just ask for the photos,
yeah.
basically.
I've forgotten about this one, but it has become pretty popular in the last few years. It's also in the north of Iceland, and there you really see the basalt formation. That's common all around Iceland.
Look at this. I've got Nutmeg Wolf flying a spruce goose below me.
Nice.
That looks pretty awesome.
There's always one.
And I think I had, yeah, there it is. I've got a 747 information with me as well.
There's always one.
Yeah.
Nickruth. Ooh, that's
It's on Helnes Peninsula, I think, north of Reykjavik. Sometimes gets, it's not really part of the Golden Circle, but it's also a nice place to go to.
86 Beaver is asking no Dark Star. Well, Hex the Legend applies a Dark Star almost every week on Community
I
Fun
haven't
Friday. I haven't
seen
seen Hex today, though.
We've done a F-18 play-in, right? When he's
Yeah, we
asking
did
about
back in
that.
October.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was
We have not done a Dark Star fly-in. I don't know if that's a good idea or not.
We could do that.
I think
We
it's
can
great.
finally,
We can do that to say that in our 2-hour stream we did a transatlantic without
Yeah.
That could be kind of fun, actually.
and we can finally show how to properly ignite the scramjets.
Yeah, because that's a bit of a challenge.
Yeah.
And yes, ATL, ETA, or at Lita, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, but yes, every Friday, same time, same place, we do a group flight, and it's always a different destination. We're always mixing it up. We want to show as much of the world as possible. Different countries, different regions, different continents. We fly everywhere.
Different people.
Mostly the same people.
Well,
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes
Year's
we have some
and
nice
people.
guests that have some,
That's
maybe
actually
live in the
interesting stuff to
area
talk about.
and know it really well. So we love having people on.
Actually know a thing or two.
ちょいバグチ系っぽいなあれ。
This is Tom's hotspot here, so he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, next
And also
week
the-
will be quiet again.
The picture behind me is taken from within a glacier, actually. Well, not the one on screen, but behind me on the webcam. We had to hike like an hour and a half across the glacier. It was with a guide, and that was formed. Actually, show it more properly. Was formed by water. Rushing through. And also, Peter is stealing one of mine. It's when Peter went to Iceland.
You say stealing, I say using.
That's true.
どこに飛行場があるって
And I see Jane is using a generic room as background.
Yes, this is the generic room. That's totally.
Yeah. Imagine now you pierce through a green screen.
Are we nearly there yet?
Yeah, the next destination is
Close.
Bravo India Foxtrot Mike. We're 25.5 miles. Is that a touch and go scene?
There is a touch and go, yeah. Coming up in 13 nautical
おお、
miles.
俺飛行場なのか一応。
For me, 25. And after
And
that,
that
it's
is
already
the-
back to the destination.
And yep,
全
and
然
then
着陸
hoping
で
we
きん
are
スピー
next
ドだけど
to
タッチングを
Oh, that's the
the
stroker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Geysir,
Yeah.
town of Geysir.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a very reliable
Yeah.
geyser as well. Like every
this is-
10 minutes or
Yeah, something like that. And then, of course, this one will actually come up to pretty close. It's close to Hofen. It's at
Whale tail.
Jökulsárlón,
Or banana peel.
Ice Lagoon.
Oh,
The whole beach is just full of ice, pieces, sculptures like that. It's surreal.
バグ地形っぽいのを見に行きますよ
Some people might recognize
マイクロソフト
certain
フライトシミュレーター名物
series, something with thrones.
no idea. Is it some kind of game?
It is a particular scene.
I
Was
think I
filmed
remember the
there.
scene you're talking about.
With a famous Dutch actress or not?
That could be it. I've not seen the series, but that's
Okay. No, the scene.
I think I know the scene. It involved a man who knows nothing.
kind of tricky to get in.
Oh, there's
Kissed by
Episode is
fire.
Kissed by Fire.
I wonder
So
how
I
cold
see-
it was for them to film that scene.
Can you tell?
It's hot, the water.
Oh, is it?
It
Okay.
is?
Yeah. It's actually too
Oh.
hot. There's signs that do not stay in for too long.
Because you get boiled.
And that's the main picture there.
Is it hot
This
for
is
the
how it
same,
can-
the same reason?
Well, there it's really natural thermal water. This is how it can look in the winter. Just a simple river.
So bright.
Well, I might have made it a bit brighter. This is Vestra Horn again.
Cool.
Or Stocksness. Yeah. So, if you like to make abstract pictures, I think it's a good place for it. As you can see.
おお
Astor says, if I
Ski
had $1
down
for every
lights
time I
at
thought
Becky's,
water was cold, but really it was hot in the stream, and I have $2. It isn't much, but it's weird that it happened twice.
So true.
And also, we're passing a VOR called Ingo. If Ingo would have still been here.
Flying upside down.
Yeah, in an extra. I haven't seen Ingo in a while. I hope he's doing
I
okay.
haven't either.
Is
Seen
that
him
a-
check into
what
the
road
Discord
is-
server.
Is that Ring Road too?
Yeah.
Ring Road 1.
Nice.
Goes all around the island.
I'm 5 nautical miles from the airport. I should have it in visual sight. I don't see it yet.
And also,
I think that's it up there to my 12. But not 100% on that.
let's see what we have here. Oh, it's Fagurlmosmosmri, that one.
Yeah, that's what you told me last time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, got the runway in sight now. It's almost a straight-in approach. This is nice.
Oh, cool.
Oh, yeah, I see.
Perfect.
Okay, this is gonna be a Tom Tactical.
And it looks like there's some trees at the end of the runway. Make sure you
Goodbye.
clear those before you touch down. This is a touch and go.
Luckily, with the NX Cup, if you've done full flaps, it's like, okay.
Prepare for touch and go. See this
お
airline.
もう少し頂上なのになかなか登っていかねえぜ
Whoa, what is that?
There's a Pelican. Oh, and a DC-3 right below.
That's fine.
Okay, so this will be easier to land, right? As the NX Cup. Well,
見えてきた。この一番てっぺんでは1000人が修行しているはずです。お、
and back off.
登ら
There
ん。
we go.
7フィート
There's the spruce goose, which I don't think actually can land on terrain. is on final. Spruce goose, I believe, does not have landing gear, right? You can do water landings only.
10度。
It'll be fine.
But darn it, they're gonna do it.
Full send.
It's volcanic ash. It's fine. It's soft.
It's fine. It also floats. Yeah.
Yeah.
もう
Was
登っ
once
た。
liquid.
Right?
Well.
Let's see.
I mean,
Well, the
technically,
10
it was
feet to
once
grow, yeah.
plasma. Like every
Yeah.
molecule. This guy's, if you've not heard this before, this will blow your minds. This like I completely had a whoa moment the first time this was ever explained to me. So if you never heard this fact I'm about to share before, prepare to have your mind blown. Every atom in your body, every single atom that makes up you as a human, was once a star.
Star.
Mind is blown.
Yeah. Every single atom that makes up who you are was once inside burning in a star's flaming hot plasma.
That's why I'm the star in the family.
Tigger says Moby was right. Yeah, well, Moby was actually quoting Dr. Carl Sagan. Moby's, of course, song is "We Are All Made of Stars," but Carl Sagan famously said that we're all made up of star stuff.
Call me Star Lord. Only
Right,
name I
then
won't
we're
accept.
off again. To the final leg. Listen.
もしコースに復帰しますか。
This has been a really nice fly-in.
Well, it's hard to go wrong in Iceland. It's such a
Yeah.
beautiful
Oh, yeah.
country. Great
It's only
scenery.
one small part of it.
Question is, which star? I wish we could just
Well, it's
take
a
a
star that
DNA
no
test and
longer
it's like,
exists.
it's this one. Oh,
No, the
we do
star-
know?
Well, we don't know because we would never be able to name it because the star
Oh.
that our atoms came from had a supernova explosion, blew up, and ejected all of its mass out into space. And that mass eventually, over millions, if not billions of years, settled and became, particles on the planet Earth, which then became humans. But yeah, every living thing you see, every particle you see on the Earth, every speck of dirt, the computer monitor you're looking at right now, all of it was once a star, millions or billions of years ago.
Do we have a picture of it?
This one.
I mean, technically, if you could look far enough back in time, right?
Yeah. It's lots of interstellar stuff you're talking.
Speaking of, well, yeah,
What?
Kerbal Space Program for those interested too. 1 month away.
Oh, yeah.
If, for people. Second version finally upon us. Eh. Come on, Peter, don't look like that. We all
Not
love Jebediah.
Oh, I do that.
I mean, Jeb is the best Kerbal objective.
Even though he's dead in my game, but
Oh no!
What did he do?
Did he go out in a blaze of glory at least?
I was
True
like,
Jeb
hey, let's try the first time a moon landing. Oh, we don't have enough thrust left. Okay.
All right. Okay, I mean, it happens to the best of us.
Now we have Val.
Yeah, Valentina's up there too. Valentina and Jeb, top two Kerbals.
Yeah.
I may have a slight issue with my view.
It's a slight issue is that you're out.
Here's a fun fact for those of you who are interested in the
make it.
space program. In 1969, Apollo 10, not Apollo 11, which was the first mission that successfully landed on the moon, Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin, but Apollo 10, which is the preceding mission, was basically a full dress rehearsal where they did everything Apollo 11 would do except actually touch down on the moon. But they had the lunar module, it detached from the command module, it descended to something like 10,000 feet above the lunar surface. Basically, they did the equivalent of what in aviation training we would call a precautionary approach. Like if you're doing flight training, if you're doing emergency procedures, you basically, your instructor cuts your engine and you glide to a farmer's field or something. Then you get down to about 200 feet, and then your instructor will say, okay, recover, gives you engine control back, and you take off. So that's basically what they did, except in lunar orbit. Now, astronauts being astronauts, and all of them wanted to, be the first to land on the moon, there was some speculation amongst NASA administrators that these hotshot flyboys would actually disobey the mission parameters and land on the moon, even though that was not, they were not authorized to do so. So the mission planners deliberately did not give the lunar module enough fuel to be able to
むちゃかり変態発見。
successfully take off again.
Wow.
Because they knew that if someone was given the chance, that they may just full send YOLO, and mission parameters be damned, we're going down in history.
Do you know some of the names that were on that?
I do. It was Gene Cernan, who subsequently became the last astronaut to leave the surface of the moon on Apollo 17, and he just died not too long ago. Actually, it's about a year or two ago. And the other astronaut on that mission was John Young, who is considered the astronaut's astronaut. You may not know that name, but amongst space astronaut circles, he's a legendary figure. He's the only astronaut in history that flew 5 different spacecraft. Gemini, Apollo Command Module, Apollo Lunar Module, the Lunar Rover,
この人
and
が
the
隊
Space
長だ
Shuttle.
な、今日
He
の。
flew all 5 of those.
今日のっていうか、いつものです
And he didn't retire from NASA until like the 2010s.
Imagine being almost the first person to land the moon, but not getting
Right.
that honor, and then nobody knows.
And then
Unless
the
you know.
final astronaut on the mission was
So
Tom
bad.
Stafford, who I think also landed on the moon, but I'm not 100% sure on that, on a subsequent future mission.
もう背面飛行で変態ついてる人がいる。
Or
Yeah, 10 minutes left stream
yeah,
today.
but it says 14 minutes left.
Yeah, I've got 14 minutes until arrival as well.
おー、ジャンボジェットだ。
We did start a few minutes late.
That's true.
In tradition with the streams.
I mean, we do arrive. Like I've got the flight planning process down to a science now, where I can get it pretty much exactly to arrive when I mean to. But we did start a few minutes late.
Also on Apollo 11, like for Michael Collins, must have been. I mean, of course he knew that he wouldn't be on the moon, but still, you're there all alone.
Almost.
Your 2 colleagues are gonna make history. Because if you ask who were the first people, went to the moon, Buzz Aldrin, Neil Armstrong, Collins.
えらいこれ車輪のアライメント
Was he
違う
say,
の
he was flying?
At the
これ
time
でいいのか
that Armstrong and Aldrin were on the lunar surface,
傾いて着陸す
Michael
るとそ
Collins
っ
was
ち
the
に
most
曲がろう
isolated
とする
human
か
being
ら
in history.
遠心
There
力
was
で
the
飛行機
greatest
が
amount
元
of
に
distance
戻るの
between
か
him and the next closest human.
Wow.
グリペン人気だな。
No.
If only we could hear music.
Sorry. You can't.
Well, I tried it once. And I was trying to reply to someone that actually already said something 1 minute before in our chat here. Yeah, for all mankind indeed.
Oh, I haven't seen that
It's
yet.
very nice.
Yeah, I heard that's really good.
But I just canceled my Apple TV subscription.
Somehow I
Oh,
got
jet
the
ski
promotion
go.
again to drive for 3
すごい、
months, and I
す
thought,
げえ、
well,
す
this
げえ、
is
す
not
げえ。
gonna work. It will
う
try
ひょー。
Well, you have 3 months again. Okay. Okay, sure.
うお、かっこいい模様だ、しかも。
Now you do have to be able to accept that it's an alternative reality.
I just realized we have 7 minutes and we forgot to do our thing. So chat,
Where everyone's
yes, tell us where you're tuning in from. And CD is gonna read out.
I'm going to read them.
All of
Okay. We got Norway, Atlanta, Georgia. Okay, we're done. That was easy. Utah, Duna, Sweden, Berlin, Hamland, Scotland, New Jersey, Germany, Florida, Bonn, Gibraltar, New Zealand, Dallas, Norway, snowy Colorado, Germany, Surrey, Boston, UK, Denmark, Northern Ireland, Surrey, UK, Blackpool, London, Finland, Norway, Deutschland, Chattanooga, Tennessee, Hamburg, UK, Seattle, Kent, Vancouver, says LCF, Scotland, Paris, Los Angeles, Poland, Netherlands, Michigan, Bristol, Norway, Brazil, Iceland, awesome.
Ooh,
UK,
hello.
Paraguay, Dallas, Texas, Oslo, Swansea, Hungary, Trinidad and Tobago, Malta, Lulheim, Norfolk, Echo Kilo Yankee Tango, Sweden, New York, Lucerne, Switzerland, Jerusalem, South Africa, New Jersey, Singapore, says Slim Man, Portsmouth, UK, the Sea of Tranquility, says Winterban, Pendle Hill, Nova Scotia, Puerto Rico. You're not going to make me pronounce that. Ayeka Flakal.
You must be so. You must be so hot,
Theater.
Peter.
I know, right?
Astronaut is from Florida, Hawaii,
Was it
Tampa.
2010, by the way.
There's 2 Floridians.
Antarctic says it's Doze.
Wow.
Rusty
Like
Plum
Rusty
from
Plum?
Canada. And Bobby's not your uncle. Flying home. How'd I do? Did I miss anyone, Jane?
I don't think so. Asher, I
That's
consider
great.
myself Floridian too.
And,
Italy.
Wi-Fi.
Just transplanted somewhere else right now. Good job. That was great.
Edor and her Edirand from 127.0.0.1.
Local host.
Lovely.
Actually, the correct answer would have been star.
Ah. That's what everyone should have said. You all failed the test.
Yeah. Pretty nice sunset. Right.
Good song going.
Nice
Shut up.
stretch of
See, I'm conflicted, Tom, because I really want to do one of those stopovers that's like 2 days nice, but am I gonna get really mad?
Yes.
Yes, you'll want to
Should
spend more
I?
than 2 days.
Should I?
Yeah.
But if I can't,
week.
should I wait?
Do a proper trip then.
But you just combine it. It's just
Yeah.
That's a lot of
there.
time.
Well, just have a 3-week holiday.
3 week
1
off.
week Iceland.
ひょー。
We'll see.
Inspiring the music. Well, okay, I'll listen. Can't take this.
Sorry, the music song has ended.
Yeah, I was thinking I
Sorry
unmuted
to tell
myself.
you.
Heard
You're like,
myself.
where's the music?
Now I had to hear myself talking.
That is one of the things I don't like about editing videos. If I'm in it, listening to your own voice, I'm sure
yeah.
so many people can agree. That is like so
Yeah.
horrible, and I try to listen to it on mute if I can.
It's like, I'm sorry for the
Like,
people.
I'm
that
so
have to listen
sorry,
to me.
everybody. I'm so sorry. Really like the sound of their own voice.
ジャンボだ。
That's to do with
I
the
don't know.
physics of sound waves and how what you hear is different from what everyone else hears when you're talking.
あ、これ
And so
か。
your
グラマンの
voice,
飛行
when you
機
hear
か。
yourself in a recording, it sounds different from what you think, what how you hear yourself when you speak, just regular day-to-day conversation. And so it has this sort of like weird uncanny valley effect. Like, what? I don't sound like that, do I? But yes, you actually do.
You go, oh no.
グリペン。
Yeah.
No wonder people can keep up.
It's the happy plane.
Wambi says our voices are objectively great. No,
Mine's
Wambi, my voice is
objectively
trash.
terrible.
It's not me. It's the Shure microphone here.
Yeah, I also.
And you've
hear
got the same
microphone.
one, right?
No,
That's
that one's on
7B.
my other setup.
Oh.
I love that mic so
But
much.
you have multiple setups.
Yeah, I got my
Well,
work setup and I got my personal setup.
Peter, if you thought you had a real setup, you're wrong.
これはまた細い飛行機じゃね
I mean, I can have a real setup, but she has two. So
Well, I
I mean,
I
just reclaim
I
some
liked it.
desk space.
I wanted one to be pink and I wanted this one stage. Now you separate the life, right? My whole life's in front
Yeah.
of the computer. If I just sat here
Where do I work?
after work, like, well, when do I stop?
Right.
well, that's the moment you close Outlook.
No, it doesn't work like that.
For me, it does.
Mentally, it
What is
doesn't.
it? Don't say those words; they're already triggering enough.
That's great.
Anyone else here? I'm sure some people in chat work as well. Can relate to this conundrum.
Luckily,
Well,
I
in my
saw-
case, it's different. I'm happy when I see something from Outlook, which means I have a new assignment.
Ooh.
So I'm like, oh yes.
You are constantly F5ing Outlook all day.
Yeah.
Astronaut, if you're talking about screenshots you took during
Love to see them. Favorites.
There's the moon. Next
Night
destination.
moon. Do you deep
I also use the same rig for both work and play.
I guess I do too.
Me too. As I said, when I work from home, I don't do that too often. I usually just work in the office. When I work from home, I'll just close Outlook and Teams, and then that's the
That's it.
official end of my day.
And it helps, like, when business expenses, like, why do you need such a powerful GPU? It's like, well, editing videos, you know.
Yeah.
Takes a lot of
Totally not
Power.
a flight sim.
it's, yeah.
Really, the 49 for that? Yeah, man, 8K video.
Yeah. I need a triple
これは
monitor. Yeah.
飛行
Anyone
機
in
か
chat。have a 4090?
船になってる
And,
な。
if so, what's the experience of Microsoft Flight Sim like?
胴体が。
Well, there's now also the new AMD CPUs.
You feel so behind. Huh.
But also not yet. I will,
Thing
however,
is-
buy a new PC this year.
You gonna give away your old one here on stream?
Sure. For a few K.
Well, Peter, your GPU might actually have some value to our viewers.
My GPU
It might be a
is,
collector's
Can
Why, are
exploit
you
that.
gonna,
Someone has
are you gonna sign it?
well, no,
Peter's
this-
GPU was formerly my GPU.
Oh,
Aha.
We could maybe auction it off for charity if you want a game-used GPU from both CD and Peter.
Yeah.
I did the same thing. I think I sent mine to Fabio, and then Fabio, once he upgraded, sent it to somebody else, and I think it's also making some rounds. It's funny.
Mine is still the first stock here.
If you're wondering what it is, it's the 3080, by the way.
Yeah,
The GPU that
not
Peter
TI.
has now.
Simmerhood of the traveling GPU.
And it's rendering Flight Simulator as we speak.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah,
The
one
problem
taker.
for me is, or I think for many people, if they upgrade either their CPU or GPU, they're forced to also upgrade the other. Otherwise, a huge bottleneck.
So
And
what I
it's no
used to
longer
do,
うわ
when
難しかっ
I
た
would upgrade my PC like every year,
あ
I would sort of do it cycles. Like I do like a TikTok style
あれ
upgrade.
これ
where
さっ
one
きの
year
と
I
は
would
違うよ
upgrade
な
the GPU, and then
ブ
the
リティッ
next
シュ
year
エ
I
ア
would
ウェイ
upgrade
ズじゃん
everything
こい
else,
つは
CPU, etc. Because the GPU tends to be the most single expensive component.
Especially now.
Yeah.
Ludicrous.
Yeah, I mean now you pay like over half the value of your PC is just in the GPU.
Yep.
I think the cheapest 4090s here in Belgium are 2,500 euros.
Yes, same here.
ちょっと早いな。
It's eye-watering. Yes. Considering
Anyone have the runway in sight? I'm 3 miles out, and I don't see a
Is
runway.
that? Oh.
It's
it should be there.
It's perpendicular on your flying.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
perpendicular.
There's a right there. Basically headed straight.
もうすぐ着陸か。
Oh, yeah.
I
Gotta
still
go
don't
around.
see a
You're almost
Oh yeah,
to
okay, yeah,
base.
I got it. Yeah, I'll turn right onto downwind here.
I'll cheat a little and slew it.
No.
Yes.
Okay then. Bit more.
Also, a little shout out to Parallel 42. I don't know if you saw it here. Still on the stream. But during the holiday break, they released a nifty tool
Yeah.
called
Pretty
Flow.
cool.
Oh yeah.
You're
Now, this is
using
the
it.
free
Cool.
version, but
Mhm.
they also have a pro version which will allow for people to actually make scripts, and then you can interact with the aircraft you're flying, like open door.
Mm.
But it's interesting. And they have a free version, so you can just try it out, see if this works for you, if you like it, and then upgrade.
I'm convinced Tom works for every single product that he promotes here. Like he's like, oh yeah, I'm making $10
Expose me, Jane.
Oh, exposed. We are on Southeast Asia server, but we have about 2 minutes left.
Yeah,
in the
I'm just
flight.
turning final now.
Yeah, mine.
I mean, that only I think is really true for God friends, because they do give it to me.
Mm.
I say to them, well, I'll give it a shout out, you know.
Sorry, MC Sherlock. Look at all these planes just aiming
Yeah.
for the runway from
Yeah.
all angles.
I'm gonna turn my nameplates off so I can actually see the runway.
Yeah, good
There
idea.
it is. That's so crazy.
I love that that's a feature now that with a keybind you can toggle nameplates on or off.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Nothing felt as good marking that thread as resolved. Finally.
Yeah.
Yay.
2 red, 2 whites on the glide slope towards the Pappies. Coming in on short final.
And we've touched down.
Here we go.
Hmm.
Okay, just crossing the threshold now. Gonna cut my power, glide it in. From
Write
here.
your own landings, everyone.
10.
10
If it's great, your own.
out of 100. That's bad. No, we're gonna go with 5 butters. Is great, amazing.
I
1
was
to
a
5
little bit left
butters.
of the center line. It was a nice smooth touchdown, but I was a little bit left of the center line, so I'm gonna dock myself half a point for that.
Okay.
Wow.
That's fair.
All right. Nice landings, everybody. Got 4
Considering
butters.
this is
Ugh.
traffic.
MG.
ごめん。
And you script butter landings and flow.
By the way,
Maybe?
did anyone in chat? This is a question that's been on my mind for a few years now. Where did this whole butter thing come from? No one in real life aviation says that. You might say you greased the
don't.
landing. No, you might say you greased it, or you had a grease job. If you did a really smooth landing, I've never heard anyone
heard
except
so.
for flight simmers.
ブリティッ
say
シュ
butter.
エアウェイズ久しぶりに見たなこれ。ああまた切れた。
I think that might be some certain Air Force.
Air Force
person.
crowd.
Maybe.
Was he the origin of that?
Yeah, might be actually. Yeah, not sure.
あこんなのも飛んでたんだ。
I've heard it was from his videos.
Well, folks, it's been a pleasure being able to host and hang out with you for this very first Community Flying Friday of the year. Yes, we will be back next Friday with something. We don't know yet, but we'll post it in the forums mid next week usually.
It will involve planes.
Involve planes.
Or
Will
helicopters.
involve-
Or
Yeah.
Corvettes.
I'm down for that.
Yeah. Anything you'd like to say, CD? Or something?
I've got to head off really quick, JD. Because I've got a conflict coming up in about 20 minutes I need to prep for. But for everyone else, Happy New Year. Welcome to 2023. Let's hope it's a fantastic year for the flight sim community. And we're going to be back next week and every week thereafter for another community fly-in. See you there.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks, Peter. Thanks,
Bye-bye.
chat. Bye-bye.
Bye bye. Thank you. 燃料切り替えなくても飛べたな、今日は。マグネットオフ。面白かったじ。よいしょ。